9,000 viewers outside of this room today. So a pretty good number that we were able to reach beyond the run. And I also want to highlight Sergeant First Class Everett, who's been running the live stream. You've been seeing him running up and down. I think he's done about 3 miles doing that today. All right, so it'll be the same what we did earlier. If you do have a question, please make it specific about the briefings that you've heard today. If it is a case-specific question you have, I would ask please to go back to your casualty service officer or to go to the DPA analyst to ask those questions. Again, if you have a question, just raise your hand and we will come to you with a microphone. So with that, we'll go ahead and open up for Q&A.
Thank you. I heard a lot about disinterment, and my wife and I went to France to the Normandy 75th thing. A whole bunch of graves over there have unknown on them. Is there something that somebody's doing?
Yes, in the Europe-Mediterranean Directorate, we've actually increased our capacity in the past several years for disinterments. This year, we actually had a record number of disinterments from ABMC cemeteries throughout Europe, which is 77. For next year, we already have our slate filled with approved or nearly approved memos. So we are working disinterments. The issue is we don't really have mass casualty events like Indo-Pac. So when you see the numbers for Indo-Pac versus AM, they look a little bit skewed. Instances like USS Oklahoma, Cabanatuan, when you're talking about, in some cases, hundreds of remains associated with one disinterment or one disinterment project. Just through the nature of battle and losses in Europe, we don't really have anything at that scale. We are working several larger group projects. The Hurricane Forest, we're beginning work on the Battle of the Bulge. We're actually starting now to work into Normandy, it's a project I'm actually been working on. So we are targeting these areas. We're refining, in the past few years, our organization so that our different teams within EuroMed who work specific geographical regions are tied into disinterments. So it's a matter of capacity right now. We're improving that capacity, which was 75 this year, and we've beaten that. We're on pace to exceed that again next year. We're talking, 3,000 unknowns perhaps in our area of operations. So the hope is to get to all of them at some point if we can make the case that they're identifiable. It's just a matter of meeting the threshold, collecting FRS from family members here. So I know that's been probably drilled into your day. But that's essential. We need to meet these thresholds before we get everything on the ground. We can make a good case historically for identification, but until we meet that threshold saying that this set of remains is more likely not to be identified as someone, then we need to meet that threshold. And the one thing to take away is that these are sacred burials. These are interments of individuals who sacrificed for the country. So before we take a set of remains out of the ground, we want to be, the terminology we use is more likely than not sure that we're going to make an identification. The worst thing for us is for a set of remains out of the ground and not be able to identify them. So that's the reason why we can't just go a whole swath and just enroll them. We go on a case-by-case basis. So once we reach the point of near certainty that we have a good idea who this could be, then it goes forward. I hope that answers your question. The long term is we are working on it. We are increasing our capacity. France is an area that we are actually targeting in the coming years. We're doing that research right now, so we hope to see the results in the next few years.
I would just add that the American Battle Monuments Commission that owns the cemeteries and keep it in such immaculate condition, you know that, have been tremendous partners. You know, you can imagine the angst that they might have had if, you know, here we are coming to them saying, oh, by the way, we want to dig up 75 of your pristine grounds. But they have been tremendous partners. They're cooperative, collaborative. But again, as Eric mentioned, the onus is on us to build both an historical, biological case to justify disinterment should we meet the threshold.
Thank you. Appreciate all your work for us. Thank you very much for that. I have two questions. Solomon Islands project, I'm interested in any additional information or any information that I can get on that. Also, deep sea recoveries was mentioned earlier, but I'm curious as to what you can tell me about that effort, if there has been. Thank you.
So deep ocean, I'll start with that one. Deep ocean recoveries are areas that we're starting to explore. I know that we've got a planning discussion looking at some sites that are over about 300 feet deep right now. But usually you're pushing the limits of human endurance and equipment when you get much over 300-400 feet. So it's not a real big area of focus. Also, it's extremely expensive, and that's not to put a dollar figure on anything, but there's a lot of other underwater sites that we can attack and prosecute and recover that are in the much shallower depths where we can effectively work. So that's kind of the deep sea component on that.
We also, through a grant with the Defense Forensic Enterprise last year, conducted a pilot demonstration of using remotely piloted underwater vehicles. These things have sensors, multi-sensors, and the initial testing that was done was very promising. So we hope to go to phase 2 of that and look for ways to maybe identify a capability using underwater vehicles without man to be able to not only map out an underwater site, but at some point in the future, possibly excavate and recover remains from it. The test was very promising. These little things mapped out this literally three-dimensional underwater, I believe it was a B-24 bomber, mapped it out beautifully using these sensors, all done remotely controlled. We hope to advance that technique. Greg Kopsky here? James Solomons? I can tell you that the Solomons, we have an active program. The government of the Solomon Islands is very cooperative with us. We have normally 2 to 3 teams a year that we deploy there. Again, working through the investigation aspect that should they find actionable evidence, will then proceed to excavations. I believe we have 2 recoveries scheduled for this fiscal year, but it's a very active, very productive program. We learned this, which was interesting, that the Oceania countries, Palau, Solomons, Papua New Guinea, births and marriages are not as highly valued, esteemed as funerals. What that means for us is that the villagers we found were so in awe of what the United States is doing that they come out in mass to help us writ large with a particular site. They revere the dead, particularly when they know that they sacrificed for their nation. They revere the dead more than they do births. So we're leveraging that. The ambassadors in those countries help us to get that message out. The press in those countries tout the work that we're doing, which raises the awareness of villagers. So it turns out to be a very interesting dynamic that we utilize and leverage. Thank you.
Well, first I'd like to reiterate what the gentleman on the left there said about how immaculate the cemeteries are. His name is over at Fort Bonifacio, Manila.
freeze over there. Laurel will be leading an investigation team this spring. 9 sites, Laurel?
7 cases, but then there's always unanticipated needs that we also pursue as fully as we can. So probably end up being a few more.
So that's where ultimately we hope to get to an excavation. It starts with investigation. Well, it starts with issue first, but moving to this next stage, she will be leading the team to go look at these 7 cases to hopefully reach the point of excavation. I will tell you that we are also partnering with the University of Queensland, an Australian university. Queensland has had years of experience in Papua New Guinea working cultural antiquities work on behalf of the Papua New Guinea government. And so we are utilizing a partnership with them to look at sites, both investigative and excavation, and we hope to advance that even further. The Queensland folks have been absolutely great partners. Again, they're respected by the local villagers, the tribal chiefs, very important in Papua New Guinea, and one that we continue to leverage. An interesting point that I wanted to share about tablets that are missing. If your loved one is on a tablet of a missing, whether a punch hole or in an ABMC cemetery, should they be identified, it's a great tradition, ABMC or the VA will put a bronze rosette attached next to their name on the marble stone. So as you go to a cemetery, whether again be VA or ABMC, if you see a bronze rosette, that means that that missing American is now home. It's a great tradition. It is.
All right, folks, if there are no questions, if we get, question right here.
At one of the previous updates, someone mentioned a case management system and public portal that was going to be available. Is that available now?
Yeah. My boss right over there, I'll call in a phone call for this, but case management system, yeah, plans policy, we run that. It is online. It's not all the applications that we need are there yet, so we're still working towards that. But we continue to progress with the case management system.
How do we access the portal?
So, sir, on the portal, if you go to the dpa.mil site, and on there it'll say family. If you click on that, that'll take you to our family site known as FamWeb. And what you have there, you can, so for the Vietnam War and the Korean War, we are 100% on profiles for all the unaccounted for. And for World War II, we're continuing, we're probably about 20% through at this point with profiles. But it's also a place to ask questions, a place where you can volunteer, and a place where you can ask, the important thing, ask questions to get answers, and also be a part of a community and see what's going on, almost in near real-time increments. So, is there more to be done? Absolutely. So we're looking at developing some more capabilities to it, to make it more robust and a lot more interactive for families. Okay, so folks, with that, if I can have a round of applause for our briefers today. All right, folks, so at this point, this concludes today's family member update. Thank you all for coming. Again, on our website, dpa.mil, this will be archived on our live streaming. So if you did miss something today and you want to go back in and look at it, please do. And also, again, remember it's a two-way conversation. So when you leave today, I challenge the families leaving today to make sure that you keep that two-way conversation going. So with that, thank you very much. Duty, honor, country, and thank you for being here to honor your loved ones. God bless. Drive home safely. Okay, so on the forms, if you want to bring your surveys and your forms, you can bring them up to me. I'll gladly take them. And I'll be standing up here, or I can come to you, whichever works best.